Hello and welcome to Diary of a Common Man. Thank you for joining me once again. This week I have a good news to share with you. Over the last 6 weeks, we have reached our first milestone, that is 1000 subscribers with 80% likes and 20% dislikes. This is overwhelming. Thank you for being so open-minded and thinking for yourself. Honestly, I did not think I would get this far. Thank you for your support. Over the last few weeks, in fact 6 weeks, I've received many comments from my viewers suggesting that my life is at risk. They've also prayed for my safety, and I cannot thank them enough. Thank you. I cannot express how grateful I am to you, but I have not passed any comments on my security yet. So today I would like to share my thoughts about my channel, about my work, and about my security. Let's understand. There can be a few possible scenarios. We know power and money can buy almost anything. Whether the Aga Khani Imamat will want to bring down my channel, only time will tell. But it is a possibility. I would like Aga Khan and his system to know that bringing down my channel will not stop me. Friends, in case my channel disappears, and if you still wish to hear me and my story, please send me your email and your mobile or cell number now before the channel disappears. My contact is as below. Apart from bringing down my channel, we know Aga Khan is one of the richest men on earth, and in comparison I am just a common man. It is obvious that he has a very powerful legal team. So one possibility is they will find something legal in my videos, take me to court and finish me off. Friends, I would like Aga Khan, the Imamat and his system to know that legal action will not stop me either. Because you can't stop someone who has nothing to lose. Physical harm is an unlikely scenario, but not impossible. One thing for sure, Imamat will not arrange this. They don't work like that. If at all somebody wants to harm me physically, it will be a fanatic follower. In case one of my viewers is angry enough to want to thrash me, please send me a text. We can arrange to meet. Death is almost unlikely. Of course it is unlikely, we all must die one day, but somebody causing death for this campaign, that I think is almost unlikely, but again not impossible. Maybe a hitman is heading my way, and if he is, I would like him to know that I am ready. I think it was last October when I was preparing to launch my YouTube series, and before posting my first video, I decided to send a script to Aga Khan. I was told I must communicate with him via the President of the Council. In my case, this happened to be His Highness Prince Aga Khan Shia Imami Ismaili Council for Australia and New Zealand. And the purpose of sending the video, or the script rather, to them was to seek their approval in case they wanted me to edit a few things. After all, the material that I was about to publish could cause offense. and I just wanted Aga Khan's views so we could work together before the video was on air. What do you think his response was? Yes, you are right. There was no response. By the way, I had given them 21 days to respond. So when I didn't get any response from them, I sent them a final email warning them that I interpret the lack of response as their approval and that I will not contact them again. Since then, I have posted 6 videos. This is the 7th one. But guess what? Last night, I received an email from the Imamat institution, a representative. Now they want me to take my videos down, all the videos that I have posted so far. Not only that, they now want me not to post any further videos containing similar material. In the email, they also advised me that the members of their community were, quote, distressed. And last but not the least, they have accused me of causing division in their community. I have since challenged them to substantiate that accusation within 7 days. I will keep you posted. But the question is, why do they want me to take my videos down now? Why did they not work with me when I wanted to work with them? I wanted to get their views before I posted the material on air. Anyway, the message I would like to pass to my viewers is, I have posted these videos with Imamat's blessings, and I have emails to prove this fact. Okay, let's pick up where we left last time. With the end of World War II in 1945, British no longer needed His Highness Sir Sultan Muhammad Shah's services. His expiry date had arrived, and by this time he was getting on with age, and his health was a big concern. It was time to think about a successor, and Ali was the obvious choice. In fact, His Highness had sent Ali to Syria back in 1937 with a special farman to the Jamaat. In the farman he said, I am sending you my son. Consider his arrival as my arrival. I am appointing my prince as Wali Ahad, which is successor to the throne. This occasion, this farman was celebrated not only in Syria, but in pre-partition India, Africa, Burma, and the Jamaat gave their oath of allegiance to Ali. Ismaili magazine issue of 12 December 1937 contains a photo of His Highness and Ali, describing Ali as His Serene Highness Wali Ahad Prince Ali Khan. In 1951, His Highness once again confirmed to the press that Ali would be his successor and the next Aga Khan. And for Ali, as far as he was concerned, there was no reason for him to doubt that he would be the future Imam and the next Aga Khan. Yes, His Highness had declared Ali to be the next Aga Khan, but in early 1956, His Highness dropped a bombshell. In a press release, he said, nobody, including Sadri and Ali. Sadri was his younger son, Sadruddin, Prince Sadruddin. He said, nobody, including Sadri and Ali, will know who is my heir until I die. So why was he singing a different tune now? He had already nominated Ali. Ali had accepted the oath of allegiance as an imam. What had now changed? What had happened? Whatever it was, it had to be very, very serious. If His Highness was to make a U-turn like that, he was very much aware that his followers thought he was Akali Kul, which is all-knowing. How could all-knowing get it so wrong? Not only that, the transfer of Imamat from father to son was a tradition. How would followers react to all this? Would he be letting the cat out of the bag? Anyway, he made the announcement that no one will know who will succeed him until he is dead. Was the reason very serious? Yes, it was. It was Ali's reputation as an internationally recognized playboy. Ali was an extremely charming, extremely good looking, and with a very seductive personality. His affairs with film stars, models, and icons, his promiscuous behavior, failed marriages, gambling related debts became public knowledge courtesy of global media. Yes, history was repeating itself. His Highness was also once upon a time young. He had also played in Europe. His indiscretions were also very well known, but His Highness knew how to manage people and how to manage media. On the other hand, Ali did not inherit his father's far-sightedness, his sharp, calculating and political mind. Now, Ali's indiscretions, his notorious roadshow was a concern, not in Jamaat Khanas, but in British parliamentary circles. At India Office in London, a memo that belongs to year 1955 is archived. This memo is authored by Sir Gilbert Lethwaite and addressed to Douglas Sparker, the then Parliamentary Under Secretary. And it reads, Mr. Mott Ratcliffe, Member of Parliament, has had a fly dropped over him about the succession by Ali Khan. Will Her Majesty's government recognize him as Aga Khan when the present Aga Khan dies, in view of his wild oat sowing? Again, will Her Majesty government recognize Ali Khan as Aga Khan when the present Aga Khan dies, in view of his wild oat sowing? Wild oat sowing means somebody that does wild and stupid things. And this memo is signed by Sir Gilbert Lethwaite. Now get this. The memo is written in 1955, and a few months later, early 1956, His Highness changed his mind about Ali and his succession. His Highness wrote his will and deposited in Lloyd's Bank. Whether His Highness's choice of Imam was influenced by British, no one knows, but the memo confirms one thing, that British had a say in the matter. Finally, the day arrived. It was 12:40 a.m. at night on 11 July 1957 at his villa in Warsaw, Switzerland. The legend His Highness Sir Sultan Muhammad Shah died of heart failure. Miss Whittaker, his secretary, came out of his room and announced, His Highness has died. Tributes started flowing. Next day, the whole family gathered in the villa to hear the all-important will dated 25th of May 1955. And not only was the family present, but the Ismaili leadership was also present. It was a long will to read, but obviously the main issue was the next Imam, the next Aga Khan. And I'm pretty sure Ali would have been very excited on that day. And why not? He had been waiting for this day for more than 40 years. But when the will was read out, his whole world would have come down crashing. The will said what no Imam would have said when passing the Imamat to the next Imam. It said, in these circumstances and in view of the fundamentally altered conditions in the world, in the very recent years and the great changes which have taken place, including the discovery of atomic science, I am convinced that it is in the best interest of Shia Muslim Ismailian community that I be succeeded by a young man who has been brought up and developed during recent years, and in the midst of the new age and the will to bring on a new outlook on life to his office of Imamat. For this reason, although he is not now one of my successors, one of my heirs, I appoint my grandson Karim, son of my son Ali Salman Khan, to succeed to the title of Aga Khan and to be the Imam and the Peer of all my Shia Ismaili followers. My successor shall, during the first 7 years of his Imamat, be guided on questions of general Imamat policy by my third wife, Yvette, called Eve Blanche Labrousse, the Begum Aga Khan, who has been familiar for so many years with the problems facing my followers and in whose judgment I place the greatest confidence. That was the will. Ali was devastated. He had never looked up to his father his whole life. If there was anything that kept him connected, was the anticipation of becoming Aga Khan. Now, he was dumped. Even in death, his father had the last laugh. Ali was in a state of shock and disbelief. But he may have been devastated, but it was this will that exposed the reality of Aga Khani dynasty in a couple of ways. But Ali's sadness found consolation only in the arms of his latest girlfriend, Bettina, who wrote, to Ali, it seemed that his father's preference for his son was kind of a public humiliation for him. He was never quite the same from that day on. His deep sadness took cover beneath a life of still more inhuman activity. Now, how did the will expose the Aga Khani system? Let's have a look at a couple of issues. First of all, Aga Khanis have always believed and still do that Imam is all-knowing. He is Akal-e-Kul. On this occasion, however, the Akal-e-Kul didn't have any idea about who will succeed him until it was too late. Too late to save centuries-old tradition of son succeeding the father. Secondly, the will demonstrated to one and all that His Highness had no light of God to transfer to the next Aga Khan, because he stipulated in his will that young Karim would be more appropriate as an Imam due to change in the world caused by scientific advance. Karim would bring on new outlook as an Imam, but His Highness in his old age might have forgotten that he is supposed to carry the light of God, which is supposed to be transferred to the next Imam. Now, wouldn't the light of God work in Ali the same way it would work in Karim? Or does the light of God depend on scientific researches and advances? Shia doctrine asserts that Imam is sent by God to guide mankind. But in His Highness's will, he says that the new Imam will be guided by his wife. Obviously, she knew better than the divine guide, didn't she? And finally, it was read out for one and all to hear that His Highness had married Teresa Magliano in Cairo as per Muta contract. Next week, we explore the life and times of Prince Ali Khan, an internationally recognized playboy, father of the current Aga Khan. Until then, take care. Goodbye.